Bird flu has officially made the leap to cattle. Cow-to-cow transmissions have been confirmed. It is now a cattle disease, and they're giving it to each other. Not only is it spreading through the bird population now, but also through the cattle population. As we reported yesterday, packaging plants are unable to buy beef now because of this. That is a big deal. That is going to impact beef prices as well as beef availability across the United States. We'll be talking about that. Some of you guys chipping in some information that is critical there. Also, China has a new base of operations in the Caribbean. So, Pirates of the Caribbean, and now it's the Chinese of the Caribbean. Should we be worried about that? We'll talk about that. And the situation at banks is more dire than we're being told. An insider gives us a look at what's going on there too. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over, mixed in with a little bit of news to keep us updated on what's going on out there. Please do keep your updates coming in. Just use the word update on any one of your comments that you make on this channel. It can be on any one of the videos, and it gets to the right place. Please give us some sort of geographical location if your information requires it. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help people who have retirement accounts that want to make them more safe. So if you're tired of stocks and bonds going up and down, and you want to make sure that your money's going to actually have value, sure, you can have more dollars next year, but will those dollars buy you anything? Maybe not. If you want to secure your retirement account, you might want to talk to Jonathan and his team at Genesis Gold. There'll be a link at the end of the video. You'll just tap right on the screen, and that gets you over to a form to get more information. All right, so cow-to-cow transfers. Yep, confirmed. U.S. Department of Agriculture has now confirmed that cows are giving cows bird flu. They're not catching it from other birds, and they're not actually getting it. They're not sure exactly how they're transmitting it yet. They're still trying to test and figure that out. Up until now, they're basically starting to put hoof and mouth disease protocols in place. They're stopping them from moving cattle across state lines. Dairy herds in 8 states have tested positive so far in the past month, and that is causing all sorts of problems out there. So it has officially crossed species into cattle. Now, that's not the first species that it's crossed into, but it is a big one because there's a lot of cattle living alongside humans and such, right? So the question is how long until it jumps from cattle to humans, because it is clearly mutating. And that's a serious problem out there. China has expanded its Belt and Road program. If you're not familiar with what they've been doing, they've been going to third world countries and countries that are in dire straits and saying, hey, you want a bridge? You want a new port? You want an airport? We'll build it for you. All you have to do is just pay us a loan back over the next 20 years or 30 years, right? And then they'll peg that against currencies that if that country starts having problems, they're going to have, let's just say, a struggle paying it back. And then China will come back and say, oh, it's no problem. It's no problem. We'll just take our port back. That will just become our military base. And they've been doing that all around the world. That's how they're acquiring naval bases in other countries. So now that they've gone to Antigua in the Caribbean, and they've offered to build them a port. So the Chinese may just be having a Caribbean resort location for their Navy in the next few years. They're building that now, and policy people in Washington, D.C. are concerned. Of course, you got to look at the map and go, why are they building a military base or potential military base so close to the United States? And then you look at the map and you look at all the United States military bases right next to China. Is the kettle calling the pot black? Yeah, a little bit. The United States has military bases everywhere, up in everybody's face, and then we have problems with them doing stuff. We're putting missiles right on the Russian border, but when Russia tried doing that to Cuba, we had a little hissy fit, right? So, yeah, more and more countries are going to be calling out the hypocrisy of the United States by putting military bases closer and closer to the continental United States, if for nothing else than to just show the rank hypocrisy of the U.S. I know we're out there defending democracy and freedom and stuff like that by building military bases that are practically invading countries. Now, that's not to say the CCP is innocent at all. The Chinese Communist Party harvesting organs and doing all sorts of insane, evil stuff. But we do know that the United States is getting up in everybody's face and everybody's business, that's for sure. Smoke grinding wigwam. I don't know what that's about, but okay, cool name. Steve, the banks are in trouble. They have to lower interest rates. And I've been saying this too. The higher interest rates may not seem like they're bad for banks, but the way the banks all positioned, it's a serious problem. It will happen in June or July. Why? Well, the Federal Reserve's job is to inflate, and become the borrower and buyer of everything. This is how they gain power. Keep an eye on the bond market. So basically the loan market. So when they loan money to governments, when they loan money to companies, they're called bonds instead of loans, right? And they trade them. So we need to watch the bond market, which is much larger than the stock market. So when that moves, we're talking a lot more money on the line than we're talking trillions and trillions of dollars in the bond market. And that market is basically the price of bonds goes up when the interest rates. Okay, I'm going to get myself in trouble if I say that wrong. But with interest rates moving upwards, bonds do drop in value. And so we have a lot of banks that have banked on and have, no pun intended, but I guess pun intended. But they have banked on the idea that the Federal Reserve is going to cut interest rates. So they positioned that way. And they're being hammered because Federal Reserve has not cut interest rates yet. They're losing billions and billions of dollars. And it is really putting the banks in a very hard place. They're going to start failing right and left. It's just a matter of time. If the Fed doesn't buy in and lower the interest rate, and if it continues to sell off, we will see a huge crash. Get rid of cash and become your own central bank by owning hard assets. Get your canned beef, get your food, get hard assets, get things that can make you money, like machinery. If you can repair cars, if you can change tires with equipment that you have on hand, you can earn a living by providing those services to your neighbors and such. Just think about what kind of assets, what kind of machinery can you get that will allow you to be a service to other people so that you can make money or to trade that for what people are growing in their backyard and stuff like that, right? Just be thinking about hard assets. We're moving into the Great Depression ×2, okay? Not only is it the second one, but it is also going to be worse than the first one. Raising Faith says $35 tree stores closed down April 20th in Ohio. 10 in Cincinnati. Other locations are in Mount Healthy, Middletown, New Miami, Bethel, and Ripley, costing over 200 workers their jobs. Good morning, Steve. Thank you for all you do. It's important that we remember, not just as shoppers, not just as people who are in stock markets or whatever like that, but remember that the decisions made at corporation level and corporate levels are impacting very real people. If you've been on the receiving end of downsizing, if you've been on the receiving end of a business decision, you know very well that impersonal still hurts, right? People who are just trying to get by, people who are working hard, people who are working at Dollar Tree, they're either down on their luck or things are not going well for them usually, right? People don't aspire as children to work at Dollar Tree, right? These are people trying to get back on their feet and they're just getting punched again right in the face. And that's what's happening here, and it's heartbreaking to see, especially for people who are hustling and trying to make ends meet. JB says, here in Wyoming, U.S. Bank is closing all but one of their branches. Their only branch will be located about 200 miles away from us. The bank says their customers are going more and more digital. Yeah, by choice or because you're forcing them? And I think we all know the answer to that one. We've all been forced, right? They shove the digital statements down our throats, don't they? And have you ever been able to find a way to unsubscribe from the digital statements and get back to paper statements? Nope, nor have I. They just shove that down your throat, and then they're like, well, our bank's not open ever, and you can't do it. You have to do that online. They keep forcing you to move digital. But in this case, U.S. Bank is an absolute monstrosity and a horrible business. There are lots of reports out there that they're going around shutting down Christian organizations, Christian people doing like missions work and stuff like that in other countries because they don't want the backlash and it exceeds their risk tolerance. Yeah. There are numerous reports. State legislatures around the United States are complaining that U.S. Bank is targeting Christian businesses and Christian organizations. So shutting down all their branches might actually be a good thing. And if you're a loyal U.S. Bank person, I challenge you to see if they are in line with your morals, with what you think is right. You may find that as you look into what the states are charging U.S. Bank with discrimination, you may find that you may not want to bank with them anymore. Anyway, now that I have gone and spoiled their punch, this person says, now we have to change banks because we prefer to use cash, not digital. That's another reason to change away from them, isn't it? If you all switch away from U.S. Bank, it'll make me happy. It just would. But that's not to pressure you or anything. Do business with where you feel comfortable. Vana says, we've talked about this before in a previous video, that we're hearing reports out there of feminine hygiene products disappearing. Vana says, I've seen the feminine products low as well. Southern Indiana. Christina, yes, very low on feminine products. Quality low and overall shelf space has shrunk. East Tennessee, because there's less women out there, so why wouldn't there be less products on the shelf? Hopefully you can taste that sarcasm. We're definitely seeing problems out there, and apparently we're seeing quality issues out there too. They're just like quality issues with a lot of other things too. They don't want us healthy. They want us eating garbage. They want us using products that are garbage. Kathleen says, in southern New Hampshire, I had a delivery from Walmart yesterday, one dented can of Walmart brand chili with beans, opened the can and found it had more sauce than prior cans. We're hearing that more and more out there, that you got to be careful. Just because you get a can of something doesn't mean it's the same. Just because it has the same number of ounces doesn't mean it's the same quality or the same meatiness as previous iterations of that. So, opened the can and found it had more sauce than prior cans. Stocked up last year when the price was $1.68 a can. Now it's $1.98 a can with less meat and beans. Glad I have a good supply, a perfect meal with cheese and rice. So we're seeing prices going up, we're seeing sizes decline, and inside these packages we're seeing less and less quality products. Yeah, stocking up today is going to save you a lot of money over time. Little Gerb, I'm about to do something mean to you guys that will affect your advertising, which I think will be kind of funny in the next comment after this one. You'll want to stick around for that. Little Girl Blue, it's a little test of your what devices of yours are listening into everything that you're watching and saying, right? Little Girl Blue says, yesterday my cell phone updated to Android 11. It added a wallet that allows me to add credit cards, payment methods, and the cough card. Isn't it interesting that all of our phones are now able to add on the cough card? Remember last time around, they tried throwing something together, but they couldn't get it enforced because so many people had gotten the pat on the shoulder before they got the cards out, and so it was like, some people slipped through and maybe they got it, but we can't prove it. They've built the infrastructure now. Everyone's cell phone now has it. They can prove whether or not you have a pat on the shoulder, but they can't prove whether you have citizenship. Just think that one through. If you have any wonders about where this is all headed. I did not install this app, but someone obviously somewhere thinks I need it. They just went ahead and installed it. Apple phones have it, and now Android phones. If you have the newest Android 11 updated, you now have it as well. Congratulations, friends. You are now part of the new socialist utopia. All right, here's our fun little experiment. Kenny says, hey, Steve, let me give you an update. I went down to my neighbor's. He just got a new double wide, put it together, and the machine they use is called a platypus. Yes, friends, a platypus. It's a truck machine, so kind of not like something you may have heard of and not something that's ordinary, right? It's kind of a niche market. People who want platypuses. People are going to use platypuses to put double wides together. People who are going to be constructing things. And I'm using a whole bunch of keywords right now to see if this triggers what it triggered for them. They put the trailers together and move them around. I did not have cell phone, and next day my YouTube account starts showing a video of the platypus machine. Anyone ever done that? You mention something weird in front of your phone or type it in, and suddenly you get all these weird advertisements, right? I've not had cell phone in 2 years, and next day my YouTube account shows a video of the machine showing up. Be careful, guys. Be careful. I just found out about the new Stingray system is working through also and can pick up in Utah your FM radio inside your car, assuming through Bluetooth systems. It has a microphone system or the cell. Just watch what you say. If you think you're alone, you may not be. Friends, we need to really start thinking about these listening devices that we're carrying around everywhere we go. We're not only giving tracking information, but you just might start seeing some advertisements in the next couple days for platypuses. And you'll get to see exactly what that is. Maybe YouTube will suggest platypuses videos to you because it's so weird. Let me know down in the comments section below if you start seeing some weird advertisements or you start seeing some YouTube suggestions for platypuses, all right? That will be a fun little experiment. Let me know what you guys see and if that takes you in some kind of weird direction. Hopefully that opens your eyes a little more that we're not making stuff up. Your phone really is listening to you. And all these companies are really listening to you. And you go onto some completely random website and you're going to start seeing those advertisements. And you're going to go, how did that website that I've never been to before, how did they know? Yeah, friends, that's the kind of world we're moving into right now. We're already in it. W says, no Royal Basmati rice in West Virginia Costco or at Regional Distribution Center. Was an online order, and the rest is coming from Michigan. So they're in Virginia, and the order's coming from Michigan because there's a supply problem, apparently, of Royal Basmati rice. Indie Girl says Mishawaka. That's a neat name. And don't tell me I'm mispronouncing because that's so much fun saying it that way. Mishawaka, Indiana. Need a haircut going to generic hair salon. What used to be $10 is now $28. Yay for 3% inflation. And if I wanted a treatment, it goes up to $45. $45 for a hair and treatment. I need a treatment because I've not had any professional hair care since I've had chemo. But will not get the treatment at that price, just the cut. I'll do the treatment myself. And friends, some of you guys have commented on my slick new haircut. Yeah, I just did the clippers in my bathroom. It's so expensive. It's so expensive to get your hair cut, isn't it? Sometimes it's just easier and cheaper to just do it yourself, right? And I don't get my hair cut. I don't cut my hair all the time, but I like cutting my hair myself and then getting a professional haircut to clean up the edges, and then do it myself, and then professional. At least that cuts down the cost somewhat, right? All right, friends, if you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold Group, there's a link right there. Thanks so much for your updates and everything that you guys are sending in. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.